So it depends who asks me. Some people ask me in a kind of aggressive manner.
They're angry.
So I just like, fuck you, why would I tell you?
But it does have a meaning, yeah.
Well, if you ask me nicely, I'll tell you.
I'll ask you nicely. Please tell me what this means.
Okay, so we took a lot of inspiration from people who paint street art and graffiti and stuff.
Banksy and such?
Everybody, but going back to Tacky 183 and all the New York guys and girls. And we thought, we need to come up with a tag name.
Right.
And that's where it came from, Mylo Xyloto. And the reason we came up with the word xylo is because of xylophone. And it was about thinking of creating a character for us as a band that was a musical person.
In other words, if you were a street artist, your name, because you need to...
Mylo Xyloto, yeah.
That would be, and you would be an outlaw in a sense, because street artists are outlaws. And you're enamored with that.
Yeah.
Because all over your piano there is street art, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't see them as breaking the law, you don't see them as defacing a public
Not the good
property.
ones, no.
Yeah, right, but there's a lot of bad ones.
Well, but it's like music or art or radio. There's good ones and bad ones, and people who are great and people who are shit.
Yeah,
That's
but
right.
you know, people have to start somewhere. You start off bad, right?
Yeah. Take down a subway or two with it. That's it.
But there's a difference between, putting a moustache on the Mona Lisa and then doing a beautiful piece on a
Absolutely.
grey wall.
Marianne from Brooklyn, you're on the air. You're on with the...
Oh my God, Howard, you made my freaking day. Chris,
Hi, Marianne.
I'm in love with you.
Oh, thanks for that.
What would you do to Chris if you could sexually? If he divorced his wife and now suddenly you were divorced from your husband, what would you do to Chris sexually? You describe it to him so he can get turned on. You've been married a while.
Chris, my son played La Vida at his wedding, and I danced just the way you do in the video, man.
Does that turn you on when you hear... Shut up, Marianne.
Thanks, Marianne.
Thanks, Marianne. She sounds like a crow. Does that turn you on when someone says, hey, man,
Why'd you cut her off, man?
Hear that voice?
We can only take so much.
Well, I appreciate it.
Listen, you know what? I can't take it when they're screaming about you. They should only scream about me.
That's true.
That's right. You know my ego.
It's male rage.
That's right. Male rage. But seriously, what Marianne says, her son, he played this at his wedding. Is that the ultimate compliment?
Yes.
Yes. And when you hear it in an elevator or something, like you go, wow, I'm really mainstream here.
Yeah. The honest answer is, most of the day I don't really feel any resonance. I don't feel how our music has any impact on anybody, because most of the day we're in a bus or moving or whatever we're doing. We're not with any people. That's why playing live is so important, because it's the only time
you get feedback.
You get any feedback, or when someone says something like that, you're like, oh, that's great.
So that's really
I thought
great.
everybody fucking hated us.
Yeah, right. You can feel.
I'm not joking.
You feel like people hate you.
Sometimes, yeah.
Because you get ridiculed. What is the criticism of you? I think
this is our music's bad.
That your music's bad. That's pretty heavy, yeah. And if you say your music's bad, you're saying you're bad in a sense.
Yeah, you can't really come back to that.
And when you're in a room and you're creating music and you haven't let anybody hear it yet,
what is it, Gary?
You must have the fear that, is this going to be the one that doesn't work?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I saw a piece on CBS Sunday Morning. They were interviewing him, and they said that, I guess it was a New York Times piece in like 2003, and they called them the most insufferable band of the millennium.
Did you read that? Or,
I did, yeah.
Or is Gary breaking the news to you?
No, he read it.
Thank you for bringing that in.
That's the last thing I read, actually.
And that's so...
2005.
And you stopped reading reviews.
I stopped reading them from start to finish,
It's almost... Isn't it almost impossible to ignore them? I mean, because you get sucked